everyone. Welcome back to Gallop 2004. It is a new year. It is a new time for some new things. As you can first see, for better or for worse, you could say I look like some sort of candy. You know, candies always have crazy colors. I wanted to go with purple, predominantly purple. And that's what I've stuck with. It's actually influeed off of one of Irad Ortiz's silks that he has worn at one of the recent meets. He didn't wear it a lot at Belmont, but it's influenced from what he's worn before. I wasn't satisfied with last year's colors. I like the design, but I looked back and I realized I did those silks before at some other time in the game. I think much further back in our playthrough. I had silks similar to the most recent ones we just had before I changed into the now predominantly purple, yellow stars with the white pattern on the sleeves. And these I think I'll stick to. I wanted a more solid base because I realized our horses and their tack are all different colors. I don't want everything looking crazy all the time. You know, you like some continuity. Eastside Band. I cannot believe the game gave us this horse, man. From Diamond Planet Tigris Stone. And I have to keep telling myself that Tigris Stone does have a good pedigree. And for those of you that have been here watching for a while, I'm sure you've seen that. Obviously over time, where we started with Western Tiger and Arctic Crop. She has both of them in her pedigree. Most of our horses don't have both Western Tiger and Arctic Crop, who still to this day are our two leading sires that we've had in our playthrough. So to me, that just goes to show more that your horse's pedigree is pretty important. We're going to go ahead and finally start today's episode with the racing. And again, I'll be adding in some different changes. I will be doing I don't want to call it a show. That sounds so official. It's basically going to be a breakdown, a weekly or bi-weekly video breakdown of our biggest races of the week. That way, if you just want a recap, just because I feel like, you know, we kind of progress pretty quickly. If we upload 5 episodes, you know, every 2 weeks, that's a decent amount of progress. So I figured it would just be a good way to keep everybody in the loop. I'll just kind of do a breakdown of like, our 5 biggest races of the week, and it could be featuring Eastside Band or Valley King, something like that, Eastern Knife, just to kind of show you the highlights of what I thought were the most impressive races of our week, what horses I think are, you know, looking great, what horses I'm worried about, just kind of an overall comprehensive breakdown of where I think we're at. I feel like I do that, but it's so broken up. I feel like it could be hard to keep track of, especially in these longer videos that are over an hour. So I want to make sure that I can still keep everybody in the loop of what's going on. And I think doing recaps, you know, when I can, obviously, I think that'll help just to kind of keep everybody on the same page. So we're kicking off today in an open, running a mile here with Marksman. This is our 3-year-old colt on the turf, winner place goal. New silks here. Marksman's still figuring him out. He's from Fairy Singer out of Butterfly Effect. He does have Spurt, last corner leader. I think that other ability could be Bears or Solo Runner. Probably not Solo Runner since he's not a front runner, so it could be Bears. I hope not, but hopefully I don't have to see. So he should have stamina. He's still growing. At this rate, he'll hit his peak starting next year. I still don't know a lot about him. It's weird. Don't know his speed, which would be really crucial. I'm okay with everything else still being question marks, but the speed I have to know. And I don't know what they want me to do to figure that out. So, winner place, running towards the back. This is our race to win. It's also our race to lose. Just the same. And I will be keeping track of everybody's records. It's very time consuming, but I actually I decided to figure out a better method to keep track of everybody's progress in the game. So that's what we're doing. So if it does take a minute in between races, I'm just typing it in a spreadsheet. I have my laptop, so that's how I'll be keeping track going forward of everybody's progress. That way, when we retire horses, depending on how well they do as broodmares or sires, I can see, oh, they won 10 grade 3s, they won 15 grade 2s. Like, we can keep track of the grade 1s. It's literally on the screen for us. But outside of looking at your last 10 races, you can't keep track of the grade 2s and the grade 3s. You have to do that manually yourself. So I want to see what type of value those races hold for certain horses. I've proven with Moontrapper they definitely matter. I pretty much ran her in grade 3s and grade 2s after a couple of grade 1s. Are we stuck? Or were we stuck? Or Marksman just wasn't going anywhere? I was trying to get last corner leader, but like he wasn't going past that horse as if we were stuck on that horse's hip. Was worried about losing the head-to-head. He's still fighting. What a weird guy. That horse is done. And Marksman's going to go ahead and just pull away to win a head-to-head. I think to break his maiden. Finally. I say finally as if I've been running him 20 times. I swear that's like his third race. So that's a great bounce-back result. Wow, what a weird guy. So Marksman ends up breaking his maiden. Loses the head-to-head within the final furlong, but essentially bounces back with half a furlong to go. The other horse then starts to throw a fit, and we end up pulling through to win by a length and a half. Wow. We were the second favorites, so it's not like us winning is rare. It's just like, this is when the horses do that. They'll have a problem with losing the head-to-head, but then it's almost as if sometimes on certain horses it makes them perform better, because he started to really climb into gear, and that's when the other horse next to us started to fall back. And then, he went from gray screen to, oh, I'm back in competition mode. So it's always weird when that happens. That was just an open win, so I'm not going to track those as much. I'm sure they hold some weight, but compared to grade 3s and grade 2s, currently right now, I'm not that interested in seeing how they hold weight. But the grade 3s and the grade 2s, I think, are extremely important. So anyways, we're moving on to a grade 3 here with our 8-year-old guy, Valley King. This is his last year on track. I can't remember the last time I actually kept a horse all the way till 8. I think I said that about a lot of horses, and I always retired them before they hit 8. Valley King is one dude I stuck with, but I kind of didn't have a choice. He didn't peak until he was 6, so it's not even like I did that by design. Like, if I wanted to see what he was really going to be, I had to wait till he was 6, and then by that point you can still race him for 2 years, technically going on 3. So we're dropping him in class. I think he's done with grade 1s. I'd rather stack some wins with him before I retire him. I don't want to try to chase grade 1s. He won't get into the Hall of Fame, so that's a bummer, but that happens. It's horse racing. Yeah, we just missed it. I don't know what I could have done differently. I'm sure there was something, but it's a field of 14 in this mile-long contest on the turf here. Winner place goal with our boy. And you see his stats now. When he was still at like the high 77, 76 speed and stamina range, that doesn't sound like a big difference, but it is in this game. 8 points could be the difference between you losing and winning a race by a length or a nose or whatever. So since he's now, obviously, like I said, he's officially now 2 years past his prime. He's still competitive for sure. His stats aren't. I was just trying to scratch my head about that. But I think, dropping him in class is the next best thing to do. So let's can't figure that out. Anyways, we're off in. We're off in this grade 3. It just so happens to maybe be hosted near the island of Alcatraz. How about I say that? The area of Alcatraz. It's just like, of all the made-up names they could have come up with for a grade 3 in this game, why was that the first thing that Tecmo thought about? It's just little things like that that are funny to me. But anywho's, I mean, I can't even say how long I'll race Valley King. I mean, until the game takes him away at the end of the year, I could, but also wouldn't be a bad idea to maybe use him for breeding this year. But I think I plan on racing him a little bit longer, so. Now they're going to give us last corner leader, too late for that. So the 1, is that our rival? Yep, Gothic Magic. Gothic Magic has got us beat. Valley King's still holding on. Gothic Magic there on the inside. 10-8 in that last fraction. We're flying. Valley King is losing ground, and he gets bears. And I don't even know if we're going to hit our goal with Valley King. Third. Oh, man. That was a tough race for him, huh? Horse lost and wild. I kind of wanted to move him to the inside, but I just felt like that would have lost us some ground. We have one more race here today. Well, that's with Soy Conquistador. She is the favorite in her grade 3, field of 14 going 10 furlongs. Yeah, Valley King, we've been on a slumper, man. I haven't been able to win a race with him, I think, in a year. So, like, I want to get him wins, but if it's proving difficult to do that, then obviously I'm going to have to be smart and realize maybe I do just need to retire him. That's the thing. I always have these plans, but then, like, that's really dependent on how the horse is doing. And sometimes they're doing better or worse. So, in this case, Valley King is not necessarily doing good enough for me to continue the plan of wanting to race him, you know, an extended amount of time through this year. He's winning, different story. The fact that he's not, I mean, at that point, it's like I think I got to start being, like I said, a little bit more smarter in my decision making and realize, well, if you're not really winning the races you should be with them, then that's probably the time you got to retire the horse and let them go, and either retire them to stud or to be a broodmare, or you just let them go. Of course, we'll be using Valley King as a stud. He'll just replace Fairy Singer, which we can do right now. It kind of be a bummer, though. I just, you know, it would stink that I haven't won with him in like a while, and you know, he would retire like that. And again, he's not even going to be able to get into the Hall of Fame, so it's not as if I could look back at his stats in that way. I would, of course, just have to screenshot and write them down, which is what I'm going to do. But still, just feel like he should have gotten into the Hall of Fame. He was hot that one year. He was just winning grade 1s. He won like 8 grade 1s in a row. Like, how does that not get a horse into the Hall of Fame? But we didn't win the GWS, so they hurt us with that. Soy Conquistador running off at turn 4. She's got a clear lead, furlong to go. 10 still there. Field is closing. Soy Conquistador getting a little bit tired. The field is closing. She should have enough to hang on there. And she's just going to get it done in this grade 3. And that is a good win for Soy Conquistador. So, that goes a long way, man. I'll add them up. So, from this point onwards, I'm just going to tack 1. There it is. And in all honesty, the way I used to have my spreadsheet organized for keeping track of my horse's stats, it really wasn't the best way to keep track and to make sure it was an easy process and it didn't require a lot of time. I've set it up now where I just have to type a number and everything is good. But for some reason before that, I think I had it set up way more like complicated. Like I had to input more than just a number under a category. Yeah, I don't know why I was doing that. So, Valley King, not a good result. I also know I'm not getting him to the front like I need to be, but and I think that's the main problem. I'm making him chase, and that's not what he's supposed to be doing. He's supposed to be leading from the front. That's what gives him his advantage. So I've been hitting my goals, but again, we haven't won a race in I don't know how long. Like, let's check. Our last win came in February, so yeah, we're approaching a year, and that was 17 furlongs. He couldn't run that now and win it. So it's just been 3rd place in the second cup, 4th place in the Diamond Cup, and the thing is, he doesn't have a great health rating, so we've had to space out his runs. But yeah, gotta be honest, I think I'm going to give him one more shot. I mean, if we retire him now, he'll have 15 wins and 37 starts, 9 grade 1s. That's not terrible. That means he pretty much won every other race. And a quarter of those were grade one. So 25% of his wins were grade ones. That I mean that those are good stats. It's just I don't know. I just feel like we could have done better. I could have done better. I'm not saving him till April. He's gonna run again. It's gonna be pretty soon. And can you run a mile? Okay, that is your actual distance. Carrying a ridiculous handicap in a grade two. Like why? Just forgot. That's the crazy thing. It's the only thing in this game I hate. They give you these handicaps just because they consider your horse is still really strong, but at the same time, there's just that point where it's just hard to win certain grade ones with your horses once their stats really start to fall. And the game is still giving you handicaps. It's just like, this is not helping, man. Well, I don't know what to do with Valley King now. I mean, if I'm going to use him for breeding this year, which I don't know. I mean, I don't know where he fits in with the plan. Unless he replaces one of Secret Endings pairings. Like I could do Valley King with Free Fear. Secret Ending and Free Fear we could do, but I could also do Valley King. Yeah, like there's I don't really want to put him in any of these races, to be completely honest with you. How did I run him in that handicap? That grade 3 without a handicap. Was it on the dirt? No. That's strange. And I would think after that loss, he wouldn't probably carry such a handicap, but they still do, so I'm going to figure this out. Well, gosh, it's just like I feel like there's no good races to put him in. I'm not going to throw him on the dirt just to throw him on the dirt, and he's still going to carry a handicap for a grade 2. Feels anticlimactic, but maybe that's just it for Valley King. You know? Maybe that's it. I just don't feel like anything else really makes sense for him at this point in his career. And I don't want to take races away from anybody else. So, like I could redo that race and we could win it, but like what to prove what? Yeah, I don't know. We've talked about it. I figure if these opportunities present themselves, and yeah, we should retire the horse, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. I wanted to keep racing him, but there's not even another good race for him until April or May, and at that point, what? It takes him about 2 months to completely recover back to blue. It's just, gosh, that flipped really quickly. I think had that performance felt and had been better, but like I said, I've been on a slumper for now 4 or 5 races straight. I just think I gotta, whatever happened, I'm just not in the rhythm with him anymore. It seems. And I don't want to make it worse and potentially, risk losing the horse. I think that would really defeat the purpose of everything we've gone through. So, again, I think him not making the GWS was kind of the icing on the cake for me. I was really hoping he would have, but we just missed it. We weren't too far off, but just missed it. He just couldn't quite compete. I think I needed to chase it a little bit earlier. So, it is what it is. Let's get a shot of his stats here, and, we'll post them again at some point. No titles for Valley King. No titles. That's my biggest regret. It's like with he's stargazing. He got 10 grade 1s, but I got him nothing. No titles. No, maybe he did get a title. I'll have to double check. I thought he got all-rounder or something. I just think he missed the GWS. Valley King should have had GWS and other titles. He won 9 grade 1s, and I couldn't get him anything. So, just going to make sure he's registered as an original so we can always have him. And then, like I said, we will go ahead and retire Valley King to replace Fairy Singer. Didn't want to retire him this soon, but again, it's just like, his next race won't be till almost half a year into the season. It's just that, to me, just feels like just kind of a waste of time. So, yeah. So 15 wins, 6 places, 8 shows, 9 grade 1s. For a horse that didn't peak until he was 6, I think he did well because that's when he started winning all of his grade ones. Like the year he won like the 8 grade ones or whatever it was that we hit in a row. That's the year I should have chased the GWS. And as always, I waited a year too late. I'm realizing if I want a horse in the GWS, I'm better off starting maybe a year earlier. I can see how it'll do if I want to. The only risk of running that is like missing out on winning races as opposed to finishing in 3rd or 4th. So Ferry Singer's who he will be retiring, me replacing. 20K. That is nice. I actually want to look at that in a little bit more detail. And not to mention, I do want to check title for He's Stargazing, which I'll do that right quick. That was a little bit higher than I expected. S&S. That is fantastic, man. Like, that puts him higher than Solo Rider, which is crazy to think about. And Joker's card, which... that kind of makes sense. I wasn't expecting that. He's Stargazing. Oh no, I can't look at if you won titles here. Wrong screen. I'd have to go and... gosh, I can't. I forgot. He's not even in the Hall of Fame. Never mind. Not a big deal. I think he did win All-Rounder. I think that was one of his only titles he got. But, I'll have to double check later. Valley King comes in here with Eval S and Classification S. So yeah, he goes in there like most of the boys. I mean, he has the same eval and classification as Solo Rider and Golden Boy. So here are his stats. Braking is not great, but double S response, S speed, and S stamina, A power, feel, and ranking, or excuse me, staying, with heart being B. So still, yeah, Bears is not an ability I want passed down, but again, it doesn't become a problem until it is a problem. And we win like 90. It's like the percentage of times we've lost a race because of Bears, I swear, is like under like 2%. So I hate it. I don't like it, but I'm dealing with it for now because it's not actually affecting us. The time it starts actually affecting our outcome, then obviously at that point I'm going to have to, do something different with those breeding lines. But for now, it's not bothering us. It's there. Yes, it looks yucky, but I'm not going to not use some of our really good horses just because they have Bears. I just have to run them smarter. Bears is not some ability that like you just can't ever avoid. It definitely depends on how you run and ride your horses. And that's the thing. Most of the horses that have Bears, I know how to work with them. So if it does happen, it's usually at a point where we've already won. And he has a late growth type. Valley King is our first stud in a long time. And in fact, right now, he's our only stud back here that has the late growth type. That's going to be fantastic. You see his pedigree. Yes, these horses will inherit Bears. So I don't know how much I'll use him. I think we'll have to be... My goal is to be really selective with Valley King. Making sure that we're keeping the family very tight. We're not spreading out too much. And we understand what we're working with, which more than likely is going to be horses with last quarter leader, maybe all these abilities, and Bears. In fact, Bears just seems to always pass down. So we want to make sure we think about that. Most importantly, I want endurance in this pedigree. Valley King won a race at 17 furlongs. I think we need to keep endurance the main focus. So if I was thinking about Valley King and Free Fear, would that work for the endurance? Technically, Butterfly Effect would be way better, but... and there's no inbreeding. If we did Valley King and Butterfly Effect, 0 inbreeding at all. And she would definitely buff. What about Free Fear? She's A for stamina, D for power, though. You guys, feel free to comment. What do you think we should do with Valley King? I don't know where or what I'd want, but... in this video or in the description box in the comment section, somewhere I will put a actual text word, description of our breedings. That way you guys can actually look at them yourself and not just hear me saying them. And then from there, we can kind of confirm what we're going to do. We're not going to get into that in today's episode. That's not the plan. That wasn't the plan. But yeah, where would Valley King fit in? Secret Ending and Butterfly Effect was like a multiple people had that breeding pair, so to me that's locked in. I'm not gonna do Butterfly Effect with another stud. No, Secret Ending is going to sire with Butterfly Effect. So we're doing that, and then I mean, everybody else isn't like super locked in. Diamond Planet Tigris or Stone, I think, is the only other one I would like to be locked in. Golden Boy and Frugal Lark, I think, should be, just because Golden Boy's still a little bit of a mystery, and I kind of want to be done with him after this year, anyways. As far as getting horses from him, I'm not kicking him out of the barn. I think yet. So, like, I mean, what I'm saying is what I've listed off as far as our breeding combinations. I think only 2 or 3 of them I would consider like locked in. The others are like kind of flexible, especially if you guys submit some ideas that maybe I haven't thought about. The Valley King. So again, I showed you his stats. You can always, I guess, go rewind back and pause or whatever. But you saw his stats. So let me know based off of our brood mares, and I still have those screenshots in our Discord in the HRG pedigree and whatever page or channel. So you guys can look in there for the brood mares and their pedigrees. And now we have Valley King, which I'll probably add him as well. So Valley King, yeah, just wish it would have ended on a higher note, but I think for what it's worth, he still had a good career. And like I said, he went back there with a decent stud fee, as well as a matching classification and eval rating that I wasn't completely expecting. So I think, to me, that says he did well enough for the game to give him some decent numbers. Nothing higher than what I would have expected, but it wasn't low as if he didn't achieve anything. So I'm pretty happy with that. So Soy Conquistador, she did win that grade 3. That was impressive. So like I said, for her right now, I'm just trying to win races between now and April. I think I still want to retire her to replace my master. My master, she's not Crazy Hunter, our other dirt mare that we will be retiring soon. That's the horse I really want back there. I put my master back there because, we retired her, technically 2 years before Crazy Hunter. So, and we're in the grade 2 Niagara. That's not a bad race for her. I just wonder if she's still capable of winning a grade 2 at that level. Like, do I feel better putting her in a grade 3? I kind of do, to be honest. If there's one available. Thank goodness, she recovers really quickly. Is her toughness rating decent? It's only 49. It's so weird. How do some horses... I thought toughness and health were like the same. I thought that, they were the same rating. She recovers so quickly, and she peaked like years ago. I just, like, what dictates how quickly your horses can recover? I thought it was the toughness rating, but hers is not good. Her pedigree, Diamond Plan, Chasing Hearts, Arctic Crop, and Swab Buster. Maybe Diamond Plan? Diamond Plan, it seemed like with Diamond Plan I could race him every other week. Maybe she inherits that from him? I'm hoping. I don't know how. I don't know if that's a stat thing or some undisclosed stat we don't really see, but... she certainly inherits that from him. I just felt like I could race him every other week if I really wanted to. So she'll carry an impulse in this grade 2 at 9 furlongs, which is pretty interesting. So this race, going clockwise, conditions are 4-year-olds and up, which includes fillies and mares. I just want to compare these grade 2s, and I'm just trying to figure out, is there any glaring difference? This grade 2, same conditions, 4-year-olds allowed, fillies and mares included. Clockwise, furlong longer, of course. You see, if I wait this long, like, this race will happen at a weird time where I should be retiring her for breeding. This 12 and a half. What's her stamina? Is this still decent? 59. 12 and a half in a grade 2 seems like it's kind of pushing it. Yeah, I don't know what to do with her. I don't want to run her too long. Because what's her max distance? 12? See, to me that's good if she's still at that point. I just don't know if running her 12 makes sense anymore. I'm not feeling it. Really want to put her in this 9 furlong. I'm just surprised they've given her a handicap there. I just wonder if it's worth taking the race with the handicap, because I can't drop her in these grade 3s. I would like to give her another race, but I don't know what to do with you. Who else did I race with? Well, I'm not sure how I went ahead and edited whatever I did. I apologize for whatever you guys may have missed in the recording. Just a quick recap in case things weren't recovered that I wasn't aware of. I was just kind of going through breeding plans and ideas. We retired Valley King. I'm not sure if I showed that or if it was kept, I should say, in the original recording. If it was, you guys already know the story. If not, then they essentially probably was the best decision just to retire Valley King. And Secret Ending is not happy. Oh no, calm down, bro. Please, 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 please. I know he kind of wants to be in the back, but my gosh, man. But yeah, I mean, Valley King, he was just getting to a point where I just couldn't win with him. And at that point, I have to know when to retire the horse, you know. When to make the best decision in that regards. And that's really it. Still think he had a good career, and there's no sense to run him into the ground and try to prove something once a horse has passed his point. 10-8 fraction, Valley King, excuse me. Secret Ending, not Valley King. I always do that last panic whip when I know I don't really need to, because I'm sure the AI won't close in, but I feel like there was one race where I didn't do it and I regretted it. So Secret Ending barely holds on to win a crazy grade 3. I didn't really run the best race with him on the backstretch. It's definitely my fault. But a grade 3 is a grade 3 at the end of the day, and we'll take it. And like I said, I'm just keeping track of all of these as we progress, just to see once these horses retire, once they're breeding, and once we get their offspring on track, and we can kind of see who's being successful. We can look back at the parent and be like, oh, look, Secret Ending, after his grade 1 tour, ended up winning 12 grade 2s, or this stud only won 6 grade 2s. That's why his horses aren't that great. I think it'll be just another cool metric we can use to really kind of distinguish our strongest sires from, obviously, those that aren't, and the different type of horses we're getting. Like, it's feeling chaotic over here on our game here with like our breeding. Would you guys agree? And when I say chaotic, it's not as if we're not getting good horses. We're getting the best, in some cases, the best horses I've ever had playing this game in my life. Now, though, and then the other time, you know, we're getting horses that aren't necessarily, you know, great. But when I say chaotic, I just mean like, I feel like in Gallop Racer 3, which is the game on the PC that I stream, it's the only Gallop Racer I'm really able to stream, you know, without issues. But on that playthrough, I feel like we have very distinct families. Now, granted, I've been playing that game for years on this channel, and especially in the live streams, but we have very distinct families. We know we have a Sprinter family with Storm Lark and Thunderjam and those horses. We have Sweet Delight and horses in that family. We had Stardust King and Wild Motion. I feel like on this game, and it's not as if we have inbreeding, but I don't know if it's just a combination of like using a lot of different horses throughout time, using the same stud with like a lot of different brood mares. I wonder if that's why things feel a little complicated. I'm sure if I look at the pedigrees in closer detail, we'll see that we have more concrete families that are kind of unique. And we're kicking off this 15 furlong race with Rapid Blade. She is the favorite. Like I said, she's got Butterfly Effect as her mother. I want to see what her endurance is, really. And we'll see how she holds up. She is the favorite. But like I said, I definitely want to start really identifying the families. And I'm going to put in a conscious effort to make sure I'm not just doing that in game when I can. But more importantly, I'm going to keep it updated in a channel, more than likely in the Discord. I don't know how I'm going to actually organize it and make it look, but I want to do it visually. That way you guys can picture the horses, how the families are connected. It's essentially what Final Stretch Simming Manager 1 does, which is technically just Horse Racing Manager 1. I don't even know why I went through that whole process. Who is this? Inner Punch, can you stop, bro? We're not going to do this. I hate the AI. Why are they always on these horses with no chance? I want to take a hot pace. And I have to do this with Rapid Blade. I don't want to, though. But I need to keep her in front. Anyways. Gosh, so obnoxious. I hate that. But like I said, I just want to make sure the families are a little bit more known. And again, I think it'll be cool to show that. The reference I was using was really from Horse Racing Manager 1 and Horse Racing Manager 2 that I've played on this channel. when you look at your horse's pedigrees in that game and you click on it, there's little icons of the horses and how they look. So at least you get an idea, and then it has the chart broke down with the horse's head essentially as the icon with each family. Kind of like how Rival Stars does it, for those of you that have played that game. That's what I want to do here, since obviously in this game they just give you the names. They don't actually give you screenshots of the parents or the horses or icons or anything like that. So that's what I want to plan on doing for us, with our pedigrees, just to keep you guys in the loop, kind of show you what we have. So any help with that would be greatly appreciated, especially for some of our older horses. Like, I knew I was kind of blanking on Great Bolero's pedigree, but Abigail thankfully reminded me that was Bionic Club and Scabbit. I think that's one of the only horses whose pedigree was a little bit murky. And again, I think any horse from Great Bolero, that would be about the only thing. But other than that, everything else I'll do my best to keep track of and post it somewhere. I don't know how I'll organize it, since we'll have a lot of families, but I'll get it done in some way. All right. So she's holding nicely, holding really nicely. Yo, Rapid Blade could really end up being Butterfly Effect. I'm so glad I didn't put her under the whip. She really held out. And that's 15 furlongs. That's a big win. Big time win there for Rapid Blade. Wow. I know that's just an open, but still, man, that's a long way to run for most horses in this game. So she handled that like a champ. So the stamina, pedigree, the endurance is in there. 5-length winner over Pretty Weak. Really impressive win. I mean, really. I'm just going to save that. Just because of how she won it, man. I didn't have to put her under the whip once, which is awesome. I would ideally love to ride like that. And, yeah, held her just enough. She responded great. So that's kind of the sweet spot with her. Just keeping her in front, which was important to establish. I hated how fast we were running the pace in the beginning, but in all honesty, she handled it like a pro. Didn't really give me any issues. That horse finished all the way in 10th as expected. She finishes in first by 5 lengths, excuse me. And like I said, just gets the job done really nicely. And yeah, she's looking strong, man. I'm so glad I figured it out with her pretty quickly. I would have really stunk. And the fact that she's actually connected to the Great Bolero, that's her great-grandfather still. That's better than anything. She's like the only Great Bolero, I think, horse still around that I can even play with on this particular career mode. Great Bolero himself, I have him saved as an original horse, but any of his horses that are still actively like racing with us, she's the last connection to that whole family. Which is pretty crazy if you ask me. So her actually being a success finally, because that family has struggled so much on track after the Great Bolero, hence why there's none of his horses around. It's a really good thing. It's a great win there. Secret ending. On a winning streak, continue to pad your stats as much as possible. Run the next sprint. I'm just going to run him wherever, especially if he doesn't actually carry handicaps, which he's not. So I'm going to run you 7 with, like, this is what I mean. A horse like him that really should have a handicap at anything at this distance, 5 to 7 in an open, he gets nothing. And then Soy Conquistador stacked with handicaps and races she's not winning anyways. It doesn't make sense. And when I say it doesn't make sense, I just mean I'm a little bit confused about that. I'm sure there's some logic to it, I hope. So if anybody could explain, please, let me know. And I'm sure there's parameters involved that I'm just like completely overlooking. I'm just kind of being lazy about it. That's just truth. Rapid Blade, I'm so happy she's coming together. Thank goodness for Butterfly Effect. Had this been a different broodmare that wasn't as strong within the power and stamina category, this horse would probably be a disaster. That's the truth. So Butterfly Effect really helped. Long live Bolero. And I guess for what it's worth, I mean, I don't really know what I inherit, and I don't know like what she inherits from him that I can feel. She's a front runner. He wasn't. She feels like Butterfly Effect more than anything. So they want her in a grade 2 in the Jacksonville. Well, I've just been running her in open and grade 3 company. Actually, just open company for a while. I suppose she could be at the point to run graded stakes. I don't know if I'm feeling super confident for that. I ran her on the dirt before, right? Wait, what? Okay, so she's predominantly turf with that dirt flexibility. So again, she's a horse. We can kind of do whatever we want. Now, turf is obviously her strong suit, but again, she finished first on the dirt in November of last year, and she was supposed to finish 12th. So, I mean, could I run her grade 3? 9 furlongs? I'm kind of curious how she'll respond. I could also run her 7, but I think she has the endurance to run a mile. I hope. So wait, what tracks are not good? I'm trying to be mindful. Counterclockwise, not good. That is most dirt tracks, is it not? Oh, this is clockwise. Okay. Clockwise. What about this one? Counterclockwise. So that would be a bad dirt race. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and run her again next week. Camellia Stakes, grade 3, 9 furlongs. Let's see if she handles that. I mean, she has an okay dirt rating. I would like to try to be good on the dirt as well. I just feel like that could help her breeding profile or portfolio a little bit more. I don't know how. I just feel like the game would take it into consideration. So I would still like to be pretty good with her on the dirt as well. So, really, I mean, so we kind of get to the end of this video. Or I may keep this one a little bit longer. I don't know. I'm indecisive. But, really just trying to progress through this first month of races quick, at a decent rate. So we can actually get to breeding and decide what we're ultimately doing. And then we'll kind of be able to relax and really just focus on winning a lot this year, trying to achieve crazy records with East Side Band. So we're up today here in this grade 3 with Desert Runner. I picked him up. I think I picked him up off screen. I didn't even show you guys. 3-year-old colt here. Speed's terrible because he's not a speedster. Look at his distance. 11 to 18 furlongs on the turf. 63 stamina as we speak. Endurance runner, not meant for speed. That may feel weird, but if we can get insane endurance horses that can help us break some endurance records and stuff, this could be the family to start. And maybe we could eventually mix speed in there, but of course this is going to be just purely endurance. So that means, to me at least, we can run this horse in a lot, like a horse that we get from Desert Runner at some point. We could, depending on how their stats turn out, we could run them in long distance races early. In fact, we can do that technically with him now. I haven't ran with him, but this will be my first time in this grade 2. Grade 3, only going 10. That shouldn't be a problem. And then we're in a grade 2 here with Vivid Eyes. Dropping her in class. She's been on a winning streak, 2 back-to-back with a grade 2 and a grade 3. I think these could be the end of the episode for now. We still have a lot of racing to do. But that's kind of where we're at as of now. So yeah, like I said, I apologize earlier if you guys missed some video. I hope not too much, but again, I don't think you guys missed anything crucial. I really was just going in more elaborate detail about certain things when it came to breeding and plans and ideas, but nothing that you guys are missing that we haven't really already discussed. So, Desert Runner, again, up in this grade 3, 10 furlongs, 5th favor, so top 5 will be our goal to hit. No, just over odds, which is still top 5. Again, I feel confident with the endurance, but the problem is with 47 speed on a horse that runs kind of like a closer, I don't know if that means I'm going to have to get going a lot sooner. Oh, that's probably exactly what it means. Because he doesn't have the speed to just kind of have a quick outburst in the last furlong and a half. He's clearly a horse I'm going to have to get to the front sooner than later. So I haven't been on a horse like this that had abysmal speed but great stamina with a closer leg type in this game, like since the very beginning. So this is kind of like it's kind of like learning a new thing, even though it's not. It's just something I haven't dealt with in a while. Because horses in the beginning of the game at the at the E level, they have these type of stats, weird stats. Like more of them seem to have better stats for stamina on some weird anomaly as opposed to speed, but it's not that much greater. Still weird. But yeah, with 47 speed, I mean, this guy has, I mean, it means he's not fast at all. So this race win, or at least a top 5, is all a matter of getting him basically up and past these horses well before he has a chance to kind of like outrun them on speed alone. I'm going to have to give it a shot. I don't know where he's going to want me to go, so I'm going to start moving now. I guess the key again is to get in front. Let's go. Okay. Revolution? No. Alright. He has close race okay. I hope he doesn't fall too much. I just feel like this is purely a speed deficit right now. It's not even stamina. Close race, okay. He's gonna fight. He's gonna fight back. Oh, very close there at the end. 4 across the line. Desert Runner still holding in there. I'm sure we didn't get the win, but that's second place. Wow, what a race! Wow, good effort there from Desert Runner. In that grade 3, finishing second. I decided for grade 3s and grade 2s, though, I'm only recording first place, not second or third, even though I should, but I'm not set up for that yet. Again, it's one of those other categories I'll probably add over time. The way I look at it, I'll just look at the place or the show tally. If it says we have 5, I'll just assume that's a mixture of whatever. What I'm really focused about is the effect of wins. I think the game definitely takes wins over, obviously, place and show. It's in that order for a reason. So I'm more curious about what winning grade 3s and grade 2s does for your horses. Then eventually, I guess once we get deeper into breeding, maybe I'll look at finishing second or third. Either way, great result. We're supposed to finish second. Fifth. We finished second. And I'm at a silver horse. But like I said, I'm looking at the endurance, the light type as well, late growth type. So again, using him as a sire, you can get horses with good endurance right off the bat. Speed may be the issue unless I breed, a speed in there. And that obviously would probably be the ideal goal. Make sure I don't use anything that would jeopardize the stamina, but could potentially buff the speed. Great, second place finish for him. Looking forward to Desert Runner. Next couple of years, we move on to a grade 2, 12 furlongs in San Francisco with Vivid Eyes. She is the favorite, which is good. And see her stats. She's one of those horses I will continue to race until I feel it's no point, usually. Want to put her back there as well. She would more than likely replace Chasing Hearts. I'm not completely decided yet. Now, she is a GWS Hall of Famer, so she could really go in there at any point. But she's still competitive. Her stats have certainly dropped, but that's not really reflective of her performance. She's still fighting extremely well. So, as always, if my later growth type horses are still competitive and winning and, doing really well in their races, not falling worse than third, I would love to keep racing them. I guess I realize that doesn't usually become the reality on most horses. Maybe some, yeah, we can still win with them when they're past their peak and their stats have dropped. But it's rare to do that consistently. I think she's one of those horses we can continue to do that with. I think she'll be a good broodmare. I can't see her not being one. She comes from Vivid Legend out of Moon Trapper. That's the thing. We're going to have quite a number of Moon Trapper daughters back there at some point. But I'm not in a serious rush to retire her for breeding. The only horse, in fact, I think the next horse after Chasing Hearts that I would replace is Free Fear. All the other girls we have to keep. We can't touch Tigris until whenever. We can't touch Butterfly Fett Cleopatra, but we definitely have to make sure we keep a slot of rotating broodmares coming in at least. There are some that we won't remove until I guess they're too old, and there are others that we maybe will only use for a couple of years. Vivid Eyes might be that type of broodmare. In fact, that's completely what I'm expecting. She's a broodmare. Maybe we get 2 seasons worth of foals from, maybe 3, and the rest will take care of itself. So that's really what I kind of expect from her. Like I said, as a procedure, she runs really nicely here, man. And I don't usually have to ask too much of her. I think as long as I get her in the window, she gets it done. And it's a grade 2 victory at 12 furlongs there for Vivid Eyes. And that's what I mean. If I can still win with those horses and do that, that's what I would much rather do if I don't have to retire them, If I'm retiring a horse, it's literally because I feel like that's the best thing to do and there are no other options. We can still win. I'm not really thinking about retirement unless I have a very specific purpose, like Secret Ending. He's a speed monster with great power. I just think you just want to get him back there quicker than anything anyways. But that's a grade 2 victory there for Vivid Eyes by a length and a half over Red Morning. Made it look easy. She took the lead, never looked back. So yeah, we've gotten 2 grade 3s and a grade 2 today. Secret Ending and so we can Conquistador getting the grade 3. And Vivid Eyes just racking up that grade 2. Like I said, I want to put more emphasis on grade 3s and grade 2s. I've been saying that on this channel for a while. They're important races to win. So I think now I'm actually keeping track of how many horses winning in those categories. I think we'll start to get clearer pictures of some other horses and some things in general. But yeah, she's on a winning streak and she's able to run 12. See, she can still run 12 furlongs in graded stakes. Valley King, you look like he was struggling. I won her in this 12.5 in the Jacksonville. Honestly, I say why not? I mean, these are some pretty long races, so she can still win these. I think that definitely matters. I'm fine with that. I feel confident and she's looking good. So yeah, totally down for that. So Desert Runner, really good first time race with him. Not a win, but again, good result. It counts. Likes Pat, close race, okay. That was at 10 furlongs and a grade 3. It would be nice to rack up some wins, so if I can find that race in an open, I might take it. Yeah, 11 in an open is perfect. We could probably win that. I think that'd be a good start. Just try to build some wins with him in that regards. We have 4 races today. Well, these are the end of the month. We could end on this note. That would probably be a little bit better. Let me just do a quick save. Go ahead and end on these last 4. First I said the last 2, then I said the 2 after that, now the 4. You guys have gotten treated to 6 additional races. Mainly because I also just want to do them and just get through this month. That was really my goal. Get through January. Next episode, we should be able to get through all of February and maybe most of March. So either next episode or the one after that will be in breeding. It depends how quickly we get through February. Like, do we have a lot of races in February? I don't think we do. There's not a lot of open... Yeah, we don't really race in February. We have like 6 horses maybe. Everybody else is racing in March. And some horses will be racing more than once in March. So that's when I think we'll get a little bit busier. But yeah, if not, like I said, next episode. Definitely the beginning of the one after that. So next episode might just be crunching down on more racing, really finalizing breeding plans. And the one after that, that'd be ideally where we would start. So We're going to be kicking off today in an open, or closing out, I should say, in an open with Glam Queen, C ranked, 83 speed from Gentle House out of Free Fear. I think she's doing well. A grade 3 Camellia with Rapid Blade, running her 9 furlongs in the dirt. Suitable conditions for her. Want to try to, again, get her dirt experience throughout her career, not just strictly race her on turf. But we will prioritize the surfaces when they matter. We'll be in 11 furlong grade 2 with Storm Owl. From Golden Boy out of Chasing Hearts, he's developing nicely. We pretty much know everything about him except his dirt rating, which I'm not really concerned about. And closing off today will be the Grade 1 Kyoto Stakes with Major River, finally stepping her up in another Grade 1. She finished second in the Independence last year. This should be a race she should be able to win. She's pretty much at her peak. I mean, maybe a couple more months of development, nothing's going to change dramatically. I mean, these stats look kind of weird the way they're described, but she doesn't have a bad stat. Like, if this is her at her peak, her worst stat is response technically at 60. Feel at 52. Okay, that's doable. Feel at like 12 or 18, that's when you're concerned. 52 shouldn't bother you too much. So yeah, this is where we will end the episode. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the new changes and updates I made. This was kind of... I still want to try to condense some of these episodes, but like I said, I'm just going to do less racing. And like I said, I'm just going to keep a certain number in my mind and not exceed that. I think that'll make it a lot easier to kind of keep progress. We can still keep the episodes long. We'll just be doing more stuff kind of in between, so to speak. So, Glam Queen, heavy favorite today. Going to pay 90 cents to win. She's like better than even money. How did that happen? Field to 10. I really like her for the conditions here today. Last Corner Leader is her only ability I know of. She comes from Gentle House out of Free Fear. I don't know what those other two could be, Stretch Burst and Grits, but I'm just literally guessing. Either way, if she's such a heavy favorite in this open, that tells me, well, yeah, I guess she's at her peak already. So she's a horse they want in grade 2s and grade 3s. So the fact that she's 3 now and I can clearly see she's at her peak tells me I need to kind of, after this, we need to step her up in competition and actually put her in like a grade 1 or something crazy. In fact, that's probably what I'm going to do. I didn't realize she was already at her peak. I guess I should have known. I didn't think a Gentle House horse would have peaked this quickly. I was hoping for a little bit more. Don't remember her light type either. That doesn't help. Gentle House or Free Fear. She can want to run anywhere. So, Last Corner Leader makes me think she's Procedure most likely, but maybe mid at the most. Either way, yeah, we win this as we should. Put her in a grade 1 whenever I can. Gotta see how she adjusts. I mean, I still don't know anything about her. That's like the main annoying problem. So that's why I haven't really put her in those races. It's just the game is taking forever. Like I thought I'd done pretty well with her, but the game isn't like unlocking some of the stats. It's literally keeping some of them hidden even after good performances. So it has me confused. Now she's max stamina, which is at least good for her feel, so hopefully this race will unlock quite a bit of the more important attributes. That's ideally the goal. Gentle House and Free Fear, her stamina should be fine. I can run her like this. She does have Last Corner Leader, so let's get her on the move. Put her to work. Now, she really holds on to win like this. The 90-cent favorite thing totally makes sense. 3 is closing. Couple up taps just because that 3 was looking a little bit daunting. Still is, but we'll be fine. Big time win there for Glam Queen. If she hadn't won already, she breaks her maiden in that convincing fashion. Yeah, she made that look easy. I'll have to double check once we're done with these 4 races. But that's a great start, man. It's a great start. And like I said, pretty much the next available grade 1, or at least a grade 2 And if either of those aren't available, then grade 3 would be the next best. But I want to look at the highest available stakes for her next time around. Really see what she's capable of. Certainly. Position D, that doesn't really help. I don't know where they want her. Yeah, I don't know where they want her. Maybe she is mid. So I'll try that. I ran her as a procedure. We got D for that. I'll run her mid next time. It's kind of what I was thinking for some reason. Next, 9 furlong, grade 3 on the dirt. Camilla Stakes here with Rapid Blades. How about the favorite? So, over odds gold today, which is fine with me. I mean, certainly, I think if she's going to be capable of doing damage on the dirt at some point, I think today is a perfect day to test what she's able to do, not being the favorite. I think the game only expects so much from her, but because, you know, I know how to run her now. She has a lot of butterfly effect in her. I know at least she has the dirt consistency of the Bolero bloodline in there. The horses weren't bad on the dirt. Their stats just weren't great, and that hindered them a lot. Her stats are pretty much even across the board, so she's not going to struggle with bad stats. So that's why I feel like we have to try to take advantage, you know, of seeing what she's capable of. Now we're leading ridiculously here. I do not like this pace at all. I wish Selfish Gamble would, like, what are you doing, Tom? Like, who? No, Hughes. Sit back, bro. We're so far ahead of the rest of this field. This is either going to benefit us or it's going to be bad. Now, I'm going to try to slow her down as much as possible just so I can coast heading into the stretch, but yeah, not ideal, man. Not ideal at all. 7th is our goal, so we're not supposed to win this race, but, you know. Okay, now we're not supposed to win this race. Let's see. Come on, Rapid Blade, keep fighting, my girl. She's going backwards. The field is rushing. 7th isn't going to happen, is it? Nope. Wow. That's disappointing. 11th. I don't know if the pace hurt her in the beginning or what. Fast pace. I mean, that's... Try to slow her down as much as possible once we got past that horse, but... Oh, man. Had that been on the turf, I don't think we would have had that result. But I think that was a multitude of too fast of a pace. She's not ready to handle a pace like that yet, especially on the dirt. So too fast of a pace. And, yeah, that is always going to hurt a horse in some cases, especially if they're not running on their preferred surface. So it's not going to discourage me from running her on the dirt, but maybe for a race like that, probably should wait till she's a little bit more developed, just to see how she fares. Certainly was really hoping that was going to be a better result. We could have made something happen, but yeah, it was kind of hard to gauge there at the front, you know? Like, if I would have saved her, would that have worked, or would we have fallen even further behind, I guess? Like, had I not gone when I gone, could that have had a different result, I guess? I don't know. Storm Miles up in a grade 2, running 11 furlongs. Top 3 is his goal. From Gentle House out of Chasing Hearts. He's developing, coming nicely together. But yeah, I've been doing well with Rapid Blade, so that's definitely one of her worst races she's had in a while. So it's gonna bother me naturally. Yeah, the track itself wasn't the problem. That was a direction she was okay with running. She doesn't like the other direction. So all of that was in her favor. But again, Yeah, it seemed like, the pace took a lot out of her, obviously. That's why I didn't ideally want to run it, but I'm like, I got to get her in first. I don't know how she'll react if I run her in second, even if the pace is ridiculous. I always have to worry about that. Her stamina and speed will be good when they're in their 70s. I think, again, another 10 points in those categories, she can handle that pace and maybe still win. It was too much. And again, being on the dirt, I suppose, like, I wonder what works better for her on the dirt. 9 furlongs is not, shouldn't be going that fast. Like, do I need to run her longer on the dirt to see her benefit? She's 8 to 14 furlongs, so it's like, what, do I run her, 12 if I can? Do I run her 11? Do I run her shorter? I don't know. Definitely need to go and see where she's the most successful at distance-wise. So, looking pretty good here with Storm out. I'm not really having to do much. He's an easy dude to work with, like Chasing Hearts, his mother, Gentle House, his father. Yeah, he really makes this easy. Not supposed to win this race. Digging in. Oh, that's one of my horses. Is that Native Spirit? That's Native Spirit. Whoa. Native Spirit with a little late lunge at us there, but Storm Owl's going to get it done and win that grade 3. Native Spirit almost running us down. That's kind of crazy. Didn't even see she was in the race. I feel like I keep missing that. Yeah, Native Spirit literally almost ran us down in that grade 2. You see, that's part of like the idea of releasing my horses into the game that I don't really care about. You can run against them in races like that. And Native Spirit, I didn't even know she was in the race. Had I known that, I would have paid more attention. She's a original horse we created that I lost because I couldn't figure her out in time, and she still came second. I think that's nice to see, just to see different horses up there doing different things. So it's a great grade 2 there for Storm Owl. Apologize, I'm saving these. This is how I'll be editing things. Kind of going back to what I used to do. It's just a different method. But yeah, great. That was a really big grade 2 win there. Expected to finish 4th. Ended up getting the W there. So good stuff for Storm Owl. He's certainly coming together. So that's exciting. Last but not least, we'll finish off with this Kyoto with Major River. Yeah, and with Rapid Blade on the dirt, I really want to figure that out. She's done well on the dirt, but I think I ran her shorter. I'll double check. And maybe I just can't chase leaders that set crazy pace. Sometimes I feel like I can and I can't. Guess it depends on the horse we're on. But should be the final race of the video. Grade 1 Kyoto Stakes here. 10.5 furlongs with Major River. She is the favorite. She should win. Yeah, I don't think we'll run into any issues. Don't think so, at least. Rosie Canary with the record here. Yeah, Rapid Blade's definitely a filly I don't want to lose at any point ever. Like, I will reload a save if the game ever took her away from some nonsense. So, saying all that to say, like, I really want to make sure I figure things out with her. Like, that's the only bad thing about doing some project horses I've done. Sometimes they're lacking in a area, or they just don't develop in the right areas fast enough, and then sometimes I lose them. So I think with her, obviously her dominance preference is turf, and I just really need to know what are the best races to run her in on the dirt. I guess that's the only thing that's bothering me. Like, I feel like the conditions of that race were a little bit different than the other dirt races I ran her in, so I'll just have to compare and see how she did. And see what's best for her on the dirt. And then be mindful of things. Major River should be fine on the dirt here in the Kyoto. She's pacing really nicely. And not really worry. Is there anybody in this field to worry about? Irish Tempest. Irish is a pretty good horse. Not a horse I'm really worried about. I think for what it's worth, Major River should be a really good window to make something happen here. Okay, running really nicely here. Coming off of turn 4. Nice ride there from Major River. And she should have this race put away. Field will be closing late. Not close enough. Major River gets it done. Convincing fashion. She makes it happen, man. And speaking of Major River, she's got pretty big goals this year. I will plan on going for Desert Prince with her, and this is 1 of 4. Or 1 of 5 in the leg. I think it's maybe 1 of 5, 1 of 6. Either way, terrible angle, was not looking. That is a good start for Major River. Great win. 6th length winner over fine time, who was closing at the end. Was never really going to be a problem. Yeah, she gets it done. That's her first grade 1 invicta for Major River. So fantastic. She gets it done. And I will say 10.5 dirt, which they'll all be dirts. Whatever. And there we go. So Rapid Blade, the only bad result actually. That she could have had a much better result there and a potential win, and somehow that just did not happen. So let me compare right now. What's your deal? So dirt wise, I've only run her on the dirt 3 times. So the first 2 times I ran her on the dirt, where she finished 1st and 3rd, those were 7 furlong sprints. So I'm wondering if it's the distance. I only ran her 2 furlongs longer, but that was also in graded stakes competition. Now she had better odds in those other races, but we won the other ones, and that was only a month and 2 months ago. So, you know, her stats are still steadily improving, but that wasn't like a huge jump. So, like I said, I'm wondering if the distance on dirt is the problem. Like, I wonder if she'll do better at the sprints. I mean, granted, once her stats are at her peak, I'm sure she can handle the longer distance, but I'm kind of nervous doing that with her, you know? Like, I suppose I don't have to run her in dirt races now. I guess when I really feel like it's necessary, I should. Just putting her in a dirt race, just trying to win it, even if it's going to make it harder, and that's probably not the smart idea, especially if I want to keep the horse. She's ready to go in February, so 10 furlongs open. She could do that just to try to get another win. I still think running her in graded stakes would be nice. Grade 2, I don't even know if she's ready for that. Like, I don't want to go too quickly with her. Once her stats are closer to 70 or at least above 70, that's when I feel like I could put her in grade 1. So I'm going to run her 10 open in a grade 2. Or excuse me, I'm going to run her in an open. No graded stakes attached to it. So, yeah, Stormouth's still developing. Like I said, he's well-rounded at least, so we shouldn't get anything bad from him. Just won that 11 furlong grade 2. Pretty impressive. Does he have any grade 1s? He doesn't. I don't know if he's quite ready for that. He could be. Very well could be. Grade 2 Biscayne, that's actually perfect. Just want to kind of really make sure he's set, so I would rather run him again. I went Glam Queen in a grade 3. She finished 1st in that open. That was her 3rd win. She's already won 2 grade 3s, so I need to put that in her profile, right? Glam Queen, right? All right, so all they revealed is that her heart rating is 91 from Gentle House out of Free Fear. What are your stats? This is what I mean. 3 win races, and just still like nothing. They've revealed 4 things about her, like unreal. It's so annoying. It really grinds my gears. I'm just like, why are you hiding this from me? I've done enough to prove I think I should know most of these. I want her in a grade 3 going 8 furlongs, I think, at a mile. What's her distance? 10 minimum. She has 83 speed now, which means she's already at her, or 84. Do I need to just toss her into a grade 1? Is that what I need to do? I think I said I was going to do that, right? Yeah, because she was like 90-cent favorite to win. So she's, yeah, okay. Yeah, she definitely needs to be in a grade 1 right now. But like, there's no turf grade 1s until next month. So she can't even run in those. Could save her till April or May, but that seems like such a long time, does it not? Like, I could at least be running her in grade 2, so that's what I'm going to do. I hate the idea of waiting so long to run her. So if anything, I'll put her in grade 2. She's fast enough to run 7, surely. I'd be shocked if they shafted her and said, like, she couldn't do that. But 3 furlongs shorter. Again, 84 speed, 91 heart. I think I'm just going to kind of have to ignore the game. There's speed in there, so like she should be able to still run 7, I think. But I guess we'll see if I'm crazy or not. Oh, who else had races? Soy, you'll be up. If we don't retire you by that point, Vivid Eyes, you're good in the grade 2. Major River, off of her first grade 1 victory, looking to double down, continue on the path, go for a dirt title, whatever it ensues, or better yet, just run in the February Stakes. This is part of Desert Prince as well, so she'll be lined up for that. And I believe that's it. Everybody else we've already raced. Rapid Blade dropping her down to open competition after that grade 3 dirt disappointment, so try to get her a win again. And like I said, I'll keep her on the turf until I feel like there's a dirt race she should be in for some reason. But at this point, turf is her preference. I should dominate with that. Again, I still want some dirt in there since it's in the pedigree. I would hate, for it not to pass down. But that's what we'll do with her. And in all honesty, all we have to do, if we end up using Glam Queen, or should be not Glam Queen, but Rapid Blade as a broodmare, which we will more than likely. Of course, that's my goal. I could just, a really good dirt stud could work with her, and that's how we could get dirt more focused in the pedigree. So we could have endurance horses with quality stats that can run on all surfaces. This line just needs speed. There's really, if you look at this pedigree before we head out, there hasn't been any crazy lone wolf type of speed here, except for Western Tiger. Irish Fleet was fast as well from that side of the family. Like I said, Butterfly Effect herself, she's not slow. When I say speed, I mean like a Mad Courage type of flat-out Golden Monster speed. We don't have that, and I would like to get it in there at some point. This could be a definite super horse family here. So that's really what I'm hoping for, some speed in this pedigree. Willful with Long Live Bolero and Butterfly Effect. It definitely kind of gave us that because she has counterclockwise not good and bears. And her heart is her worst attribute, but again, she didn't really get terrible stats. She's still pretty well balanced, so I think that'll still work out for us. Anyways, guys, this is going to do it for this return episode of Gallop Racers 2004. Just give me a little bit of time to edit and to get ready to record our next one, which we will try to get through all of February and March with our races. That way we are properly prepared to decide our final decisions on breeding and everything going into the month of April. So appreciate you guys for love and support. Until next time, Horse Racing Emerson, playing great fantastic day. I'll see you later, and goodbye.
Welcome to Horse Racing Gamer, where champions are made.